Guys, I just grabbed the camera. I've got some terrible news. I've just come in the studio. Look what's happened. I've got no idea why. All the other fish look good. I'm going to test the water in a second. It's probably only just happened, not breathing at all. But look, full colour. I don't know. Maybe it's knocked itself out or something. The others are absolutely fine. So, sorry if the camera's a bit shaky. I'm a bit shook up. Here it is, look. It looks so healthy. All the colours there. There doesn't seem to be any signs of anything wrong at all. This is just a mystery. So what I'm going to have to do is, like, you have to dispose of fish properly. I'm going to have to, obviously, I'll go outside, I'll dig a nice little hole and put the fish in that. What's wrong with you? So you can see down here as well, look, all the cories are absolutely fine. And also, I've just noticed, look, here's some fresh poop as well from the discus. That's a really good colour. There's no signs of like internal parasites or anything from it being white and stringy. Yeah, I'm really struggling with this one. Another mystery. First off, it appears like it's just bumped itself or something. I don't know. So I've tested all the water. The ammonia is at 0, nitrite's at 0, as you'd expect from both things. The pH is exactly on neutral 7, which it's always been at, and the nitrate is at 20 parts per million, which is absolutely perfect for a heavily planted tank. So the water is showing that it's absolutely, like, you know, spot on. But I'm going to do a big water change anyway, just to be sure. To be honest with you, I'm not really happy with how this one's looking either. Look, he looks kind of, or she looks kind of emaciated, is that the word? You know, looks kind of a lot thinner. Now, I've been up in the feeding. I've been feeding these guys twice a day, and I've only ever really done it once a day. But now, like one big feed, but I've been doing it twice a day with 2 big feeds in an attempt to try and get some weight back on. Now, like I say, they've all been dewormed, so there's no sort of worm issues. There's definitely no water quality issues. I mean, I've just done the testing, but also there's cories breeding rapidly in this whole system, so that doesn't happen when there's water quality issues, does it? But then the other thing is, I've not added anything to this tank either, so I am so confused. Like, if I'd added a load of new fish or something like that, I'd understand if there was some sort of internal possible problems. These guys are sort of pairing up, I think, at the moment. Maybe that's what the issue was, some aggression to that other dominant sort of male or female or what. I'm so confused. Right, I'm now sitting back here, look, with my phone across the room. I didn't want to move and grab the camera, but look, the orange there is going around and it keeps getting very aggressive with all the other fish. Could be looking to spawn. Maybe it's a female. I don't quite know, but maybe that's what's happened here, that they've killed the other one because it wasn't backing down or something. It's still a bit inconclusive, isn't it? I'm not sure at all. I mean, look, there we go again. I'm gonna say aggression is the most likely conclusion, to be honest, because like I say, we've got babies in the tank and breeding going on, and it is fully possible that this has happened because 2 of the largest ones didn't back down. I mean, there still is definitely an issue with this fish up here. I'm not sure. Weak immune system, it could be, or something like that. The others all look pretty good. This is such a tough one. They've been so good for so long, and I've had these fish for so long as well. So it's now been 2 weeks since we sadly lost the discus. Things have massively improved everywhere across the board with the fish. There's still a little bit of that aggression going on, but nothing like I was seeing before. Also the fish health, the thickness of them, even that emaciated one, all of them looking so much better for this double feeding. It has caused some issues though with the tank. Yeah, we have had a very large algae bloom, so if from a distance you can't. Oh, first of all, let's look at the fish. Let's take a look at the fish health. So there's a lot more thickness to them. The colours look better. This was the one that I was worried about before. Come around, look forward at me. Follow my finger, buddy. Turn around. Oh, I'm trying to get him to turn around because the best way... Look, there you go. Look at the thickness in his head. Way, way better. He's not pinched in at that top section above the eyes. It's rounded, and before it was pinched in. All of the fish have got much more thicker sort of bull heads. That's what I call them. And obviously that's from putting on weight. So a couple of methods. Like I say, I started upping the feed to twice a day. And also I started making sure that all the food landed in this front section. Because of how dense the tank is, a lot of it was falling in gaps that they couldn't get to. And it's for that reason I've taken a decision that I am taking this all down and rescaping it all. Not completely. I'm just going to take the fish out for a little bit. And move a load of sort of like the wood all around, that kind of thing, and get it in a much better sort of position to be able to feed more and focus more on the fish. I can do the planted tank thing in plenty of other tanks, but this one I want to keep on with that power feeding and not worry about it, you know, being a complete mess. It's not too bad, don't get me wrong, but we can make it better. We can give them more room in here, and also I want to break lines of sight a little bit more, because at the moment, because of the plants, they're not coming in and out of all of them, because they're so densely packed. They're just in the foreground or above them. Well, that's not enough room, I don't think. I think we can do better than that. So yeah, I'm going to take them out of this tank, and whilst I'm just, you know, rescaping, which is only going to take me most of today, so they're not going to be for long, I'm going to put them down in this one here. Again, this is a 2-foot tank. I'll put a lid on it as well because I'm worried about them getting a bit spooked and jumping. All they'll do is they'll huddle in the corner together. All that aggression will be stopped because there's a change, and they'll all just sort of go into survival mode, and they'll group together and huddle and be absolutely fine just for the time being. Don't worry, I'll monitor everything. I'll make sure it's all safe as well. But yeah, I think maybe me upping that food initially triggered some spawning activity, along with the fact that I trimmed the whole tank and did a water change. I think that is what's caused that sort of boost in aggression, sort of hormones. I don't really know. All I know is that we need to sort of set this right now. Like I say, everything's going good, but it could be better, so let's do that. So the first thing I'm going to need to do is prep this tank. I'm just going to switch the light off completely. They won't need light during this period, and it'll actually be better for them and less worrying just to have the light off. So take the light off, put them in, and then cover up the top. So that'll be fine. The one thing is though, that temperature is completely different. We're like 4 or 5 degrees less than the actual tank. So I'm gonna heat it up and get that ready, and then I'll move them across. Okay, tank clear, fish are in. They seem absolutely fine. Temperatures are matching as well, so we're all good. Yeah, look, they're pretty chilled. It's actually darker than the camera's making it look because it's brightening everything up, but yeah, I'm happy with that. We can now sort of crack on with fixing their tank. So I'm not changing all the substrate system and all that. All I'm doing is scaping it, like a rescape, not remaking it all, because the substrate system's been in place for a while. It's all, you know, doing really well. And what I want to do is just save a few plants. So I'm going to save this one here. Oh, what's that called again? Let me look it up. Nymphoides hydrophila Taiwan. That's where I was getting that from. So yeah, I want to keep that one, and I also want to keep the Hygrophila compacta. I mean, that's got some loose algae on it. That'll dust off nice and easy. I'm going to keep those 2 plants, and probably the Amazon saws at the back. Some of them are looking a bit rough, so we'll pick the best sort of leaves, if you like, and take off the worst ones. The rest is coming away, it's going out, it's suffering as it is anyway, and I want to just, you know, cut down on the total amount of plants overall anyway. Right, sit rep. The fish are all down here chilling, absolutely fine. Look, like I said, they'd just be like completely calm, huddled. Breathing rates are decent still, so we're all good down there. What I'm waiting to do now is for this to clear a little bit, because I can't really see what I'm doing. I could swap out the water, I guess, but I do that at the end because it's only going to get all messed up again when I move everything. It turns out I've got way more cories in here than I thought. Because of all the breeding that's been going on, I have seen so many babies just flying around. I mean, I can't now, but as I was doing it all, the water wasn't so murky. But it's clearing up, literally, like quite fast, so I can start again soon, because what I want to do here is those background rocks, I've got them making like sort of a wall at the back. I want to bring them into sort of a triangular composition. It's just like a side island, if you like, and then a big open part with just maybe the odd rock or two for detail. And that gives us a big area for feeding in, for the discus to go in, and I want to have everything coming from that corner. That should work really well. I've seen it done so many times, this one island at the side going across, because most of the time obviously discus tanks are quite long rather than high, so it works really well keeping all that hardscape going in one direction. But yeah, just need to wait for it to clear and then we can get started. I think that's about as good as we're going to get it for now. It's going to get disturbed again anyway, but isn't it strange how you look at something for a certain amount of time and you forget like how clear everything else is? So I'm looking at this thinking, oh, that's quite nice and clear now. Then I turn around, look at some of my other tanks, and like they're just like crystal clear completely. This is a good opportunity to show you guys some other tanks we've got going on. This is the African aquarium right here. This is my ecosystem aquarium, so this is one that doesn't get any water changes. 4 foot, just loads of plant life, quite a few little sort of endlers and guppies, and I've got an Apistogramma pair in here as well. That's the female down there, but that's the male at the back there. We've got another Apistogramma tank. We've got this one here, which is like a realistic sort of setup I tried to do. That's doing really well. The female's coloured up beautifully as well. She's definitely got her sort of breeding colours on, ready to go. And the male look is here. This is the Hongshloi. Again, colourful, looking for a baby soon, I guarantee it. And then over here is one I've just set up as well. This is my rainbow fish tank. It's just going through a sort of early ugly phase, easily sorted out, but like the wood's got all this jelly stuff on, which yes, happens to me as well, guys. It happens to everyone. We've got some diatoms down on the sand as well. Nothing we can't fix, but everything in the tank is going really, really well. But it's about this one. Did you see that on the time lapse? The cories just kept jumping up and down, up and down, up and down. They've all collected together at the moment, all in some of the sort of corners, a bit threatened, I think. Some of this gravel in here is really ugly. I might have to in a minute. Once I've moved some of these rocks around, we might find that I need to just take the water down to a minimal level and start scaping it without it, but I'll see how it goes. It might be alright. But I now need to take the wood out because some of it's got some weird kind of algae on it. It's like BBA, but not, because it comes in these sort of balls. I don't know what it is. It's not that bad, to be honest, but might as well take it off while I can. Look at this beautiful albino cory down here as well. Look at that. You stunner. And of course we've got the babies, not to forget. Loads of bronze cory babies in here. Way smaller than the parents, but we'll get to that. We'll be able to see them all very shortly. Right, the wood's out. I mean, it looks black. It's not black, it's just wet. I might take it home and pressure washer it off, to be honest, then bring it back. But in the meantime, we can start moving some of those stones across. I want to bring them over into this corner and make a sort of island, and then another sort of small island next to it, where the sort of sticks are leaning to. So yeah, to start with, I'm just going to pull these out to roughly where I want them, being careful of all the fish, obviously. They're all getting out the way pretty quickly. I don't want it coming out too far though, that's the thing, you see. We've got quite a lot of rocks here to choose from. Some of them I can leave in place, like this one looks really good, really natural, just sat there. We've got some big ones over here though that we don't need to stay there. How about if we stick that one? It's quite hard to do this, you see, when you've not got the water out, because seeing height and things is a little bit difficult. Yeah, I'm really struggling to see what I'm doing. I'm going to need to drain the water. I'm going to drain it right down, just enough so that the fish are okay, but you know, below the sort of edge of the rocks, and then I can see what I'm doing better. Okay, there we go. That's a little bit better. I can see what we're doing a bit more. To be honest, I'm not massively worried about the rock placement on this, just because I want to get it done. I don't want to sit here faffing about, because I don't want to discus down in this little tank for too long. Obviously, it's not suited for them. Big fish, tiny filter. Don't worry, I'm monitoring stuff and changing water if it takes too long. But so far, it's been like an hour, and they're absolutely fine for a good day or so anyway. So yeah, at the moment, look, we've got the rocks arching across to about halfway or just over halfway, and then I wanted to have another little sort of rocky area there, but I've run out of rock, so I'm just going to add a few more to that. And then I've got to be really careful though, because most of the big cories and the Siamese algae eaters, they've all come to the foreground, but a load of the little baby ones all went back in this section here, and they're all some under. Oh, there we go. I can feel one. I can feel one under there. There we go. So I need to be careful when I'm filling this area up with gravel, because I'm going to build this layer up. That's the one we're going to plant into. And just, yeah, I'm going to be really careful around those edges there to make sure we keep all the babies. Don't want to be squishing any, do we? Oh, I just had to quickly get this shot. Look at this. There's loads of them. We've got the 2 stirb. I did have more than that, but obviously we must have lost some along the way. Look, they all just come tearing up to the front. Hello. Oh, this is why it's good having a lot of Corys in one go. We're going to be able to really see them now as well with the new setup, unless they will sort of go to that back area once it's planted. But I hope they don't, because it'd be great to see them all in this foreground area, wouldn't it? There it is. So back in the studio, the wood is back. It still looks really dark, doesn't it? I mean, it's clean though, that's the main thing. When I say clean, I mean there's not like flaky bits all over it. So that'll be good to go back in. Now I've already placed the rocks how I sort of want them. So we've got like a big island section here, then a littler one here. And that's where the sort of direction will be going. And maybe one looping over there. I don't even know yet, but we've got 2 sections for plants and they're right at the back, out the way, and this massive open foreground area. And I've put a couple of little detail rocks. You can't really see anything at the moment in that bottom section. I decided to leave these little plants as well. This is, oh, what is this? Micranthium umbrosimum. I'll put that up on the screen. But yeah, it looked quite nice. I thought, why not? Just a little bit of greenery in the foreground. Won't hurt, will it? Yeah, time to get the sticks in. Sorry, not sticks. Aquascaping specialist wood. Right, I think I've come up with something I like. I saved the hassle of showing me placing it one by one because it took forever. So see how we've gone for quite flat, but going that direction. Now that's because it looks like it's bare in that corner. That's where I want the majority of the plants to be, and then some more in that section there. So you can sort of see why I've left it open. I've made mistakes before of like cramming that area full of hardscape and then having it flow out, and then you've got no planting room and it just doesn't work. So don't put too much hardscape in your planting area and you'll be absolutely fine, providing you've got enough plants, of course. And I have got loads, so I've kept them down here whilst I'm doing this. A little bit of tissue on top that's wet and a moist towel, so we've got loads in there all ready to go in. Yeah, they're all still wet. And in fact, that is what I can do now. I can plant them in. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, you've only got gravel in there, so where's the nutrients for the root systems? Well, underneath this gravel, when I first set it up, there was a load of nutrients as well, and I'm going to be putting root tabs in. I don't know what I'm showing you there, you can't see anything, but trust me, underneath, right at the very bottom, there was a nutrient layer, and I capped it all off with normal gravel. So that nutrient layer is still there, so there's no need to really like add another one, but I will be boosting it with like API root tabs or whatever you want really, but I always use API stuff, it works really well. So next up, let's get the big swords in that back corner first. Right, so far I've gone with the Amazon swords and the Nymphoides, just those two. I've got no idea how it's actually sitting because obviously they flop over, so I'm going to get some water in there, see where we're at, see what we need to change, if at all actually. I might just go with the 2 plants, keep it crazy simple, but you know, just that one shade of green, that might look good. Let's see how it looks. Right, we're crazy cloudy. I mean, I've got no actual idea how it looks probably yet. Well, I have an idea, don't I? But I don't really know. So probably, well, actually, to be honest, we can put the fish straight in now. I mean, the cloudiness doesn't bother them at all. And then I can come back in the morning and we can see what it's looking like. It should look perfect by then, and it'll be a lot safer for the fish to move across, because I'm a little bit worried that there might be some kind of, you know, ammonia spike. Such a small tank and a filter that's been running with no fish. I mean, it's not going to be able to deal with waste at all. So I think the safest bet is to move them across and then come back in the morning and see how the tank's getting on. I have to say this is a little bit bittersweet because I'm really happy with the setup now. I think that's looking so good, like sharp, isn't it? But you know, I just wish the other fish was still there. It looks kind of empty. That's 2 out of the total 6 I've lost. Now the first one had like a real bad buoyancy issue. It went upright, something wrong internally, I don't really know. This one though, I can't even, you know what? I'm pretty sure that there's been the aggression, it's spooked it and it's just rammed into something, and that's, you know, game over. I spoke to Matt at Maidenhead Aquatics, one of the experts I talked to about fish or any problems I've got, and like he said, sometimes with discus, they scare themselves, for crying out loud, and then boom. Like I say, they're absolutely gutting, but you know, that every cloud silver lining, if I guess. We've come up with something really nice here that hopefully these fish can enjoy. Now I realise that quite a few of you will want to know a few more details about this, like the lighting, the filtration, that kind of thing. So let me go over that for you. It's nothing complicated, but you know, it is important. So the tank itself is by Aquariums for Life. I'll put up on the screen here like the actual dimensions, literage, that kind of thing. It's quite a deep tank. They've gone for like just as sort of deep, well actually no, I think it's deeper than it is high, so I mean that's quite normal, but it's like really deep. Anyway, you'll see on the screen. Also we have got lighting at the top that is suited really for a planted tank, but in a budget way. Kind of. So I started off with one of these cheap All Pond Solutions strip lights, the silver one you can see there. Then after that I went, oh that's not enough, and I added a second one. And then after that I was like, okay, I want a bit more colour, because those were just white LEDs and I had more colourful plants, and the fish themselves look better with a little bit of a colour pop as well. So I then went for this third budget light, which has got colourful LEDs. I don't think you're gonna pick it up, but anyway, yeah, it has. You'll have to just trust me. But yeah, so for the price of all 3 of those, I probably could have got like a high-end one. It doesn't matter though, I did it in stages, so it's not like it broke the bank or anything. So that's the lighting. In terms of time, they are set up for 12 hours of lighting, 12 hours on, 12 hours off. Obviously, it don't ramp or anything like that, because they're too basic to be doing that sort of thing. Now let's take a look at the filtration. So it's not quite as simple as a couple of filters. Well, it is, in a way. First of all, massively thick substrate system. See that? So this at the front is just sort of like fine gravel. And then round the back, maybe we can see down here, probably not. Anyway, there's some chunky gravel at the bottom and a load of nutrients that were spread inside that as well, with the sort of finer gravel sat on top. That way the plant roots can work their way all into all of this anywhere, and they've got nutrients. Oh, and some of you might be worried about the coarseness of this gravel for the cories. Well, it's funny you should say that, because they've been in this whole time. All the babies have got really good barbels, all the adults have, apart from the 2 stir-bys over there, but they didn't have any when I bought, guys, come on. They didn't have any when I got them, so that explains why they don't. But all the others, look, there's a baby down there now. Let's have a look. There we go, look, really good barbels. And that actually coincides with what Corey from Aquarium Co-op said when he was in, I think it was Peru, collecting fish. And he was collecting cories, and he showed what the substrate was like in the river where they were, the place that he actually got them from. And it was a lot like this, completely varied. You know, it's not sharp, it's not something that wears them down or anything like that. They lose them from bacterial infections and things like that. So, yeah, seems to be a bit of a myth. Like, there we go, look at the back there. They've all got really good barbells, haven't they? Look, we're all good. Oh, there's definitely some sort of breeding ritual going on back there. Hopefully we'll get some more Coreys soon. I love Coreys. We've also got an inlet and outlet on that side and an inlet and outlet on that side. That's the stainless steel ones. It's just an Amazon one. They're not actually that expensive, and I think they look pretty good. Many people ask me, oh, why don't you get the glass instead? Well, glass gets dirty quickly. These don't. It's just another thing that you don't have to waste time maintaining, because obviously I've got tons of tanks in here, and that would be difficult to keep up with all of the maintenance. But what about actual mechanical filtration? Let's come down here, look, inside. Oh, it's going to be really dark, isn't it? Hang on, let me sort the camera out. Okay, there we go. So I've got a Oase Biomaster 800 or 850, I can't even remember which one it is. The biggest one there, and that's a spare one. That's one that I completely forgot I even had, if I'm honest. And then I've got another one this side. I think that's the 600. Both of these have built-in heaters, because I heat my room. I heat it to tropical temperatures, but obviously Discus, they require a lot warmer than tropical. They're like 28 degrees Celsius. Again, I'll put that up on a screen, what that is in Fahrenheit, because I can never remember. 86, 87, something like that. So yeah, inside here I used all the sponges they already had. I haven't really changed anything apart from I added like one layer of crushed lava rock. Crushed lava rock, yeah, so I've got that. And for like more flow, because although they do generate half decent flow, they're nothing like what I wanted, which was to have that surface agitation just rippling like that all the time. That gives us great oxygen exchange, and for that I've just got like a cheap little sort of power head, is it, or wave maker there, just blowing right to that surface. This also means that if for any reason the filters stop, you know, because sometimes that can happen, we're still going to get oxygen exchange. Because it's a heated tank, we run out of oxygen quite quickly, especially with the plants as well, and that means that, you know, I could potentially run this without a filter for a good few days and be absolutely fine. Again, that's partly down to the fact we've got so many plants. Well, not so many now, but there's still a lot, and that massive substrate system. So there we go, guys. I hope you have enjoyed this video despite the awful start to it. You know, we're trying to make the best of a bad situation. If you have enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe button, maybe check out my merch in the story thing below, and I will see you guys on the next one.